Welcome back, everyone, for another episode of the No Suit Survival series. Where we left off, we were in space in a trade station getting a whole bunch of stuff. So I've done a bit of housekeeping um, between episodes. I've added some mods, changed up the my mod collection so it's a bit more accurate to all the mods that I have on currently. So that includes stuff like the tool switcher, which I've just introduced, which lets you put multiple tools on one slot and then you can just scroll through them with your scroll wheel, which seems very good. That lets me have some more extra free slots on this basic bar here where I can put more blocks and whatnot. In the number 3 slot, I'm planning to put my like concrete and painting tool, but I don't have one on me at the moment, so I can't actually put it in that slot, so it's just going to remain empty for now. And I can have as many weapons as I want in this one, and maybe I'll take like a sidearm or a rocket launcher around with me, something like that. But the first thing we're going to do today, actually no, another thing I'll bring up first. The other mod I introduced was, it's a mod called Faction Wars. So we've got a whole bunch of more factions and way more stuff going on. So there's a crap load of encounters and whatnot that can happen. NPC bases can spawn on planets that function like trade stations, but they're reputation based and they can send out troops and whatnot to attack nearby enemies and all sorts of stuff. So there should be a little bit more hectic chaos going on. So there's that. And now along with that, I have created a faction for myself just for all of this stuff to even work in the first place. I'm pretty sure I'd need a faction for a lot of them. We're just going to call ourselves the Nomad for now. We're just a solitary traveler. I've left it as a triple dots as just the icon, just so it doesn't cause too much clutter. I don't really like having a faction tag on all my like ships and stuff, just clogging up all the antenna lines and whatnot. It's a little bit frustrating in me. I don't know if there's a setting you can change that turns off faction based stuff. But another thing I can do with factions is I can now build a comfortable safe zone. So I want to do that on my base before it gets horribly blown up by all of the random encounters and stuff that might happen down on the planet. So in order to facilitate that, I'm going to need probably a bunch of gravity components, and I found that the store that I was in actually does sell them. So I might actually pick up a couple more if they have any. I've just reloaded, so it probably, yeah, okay. I reloaded the save, so it changed up the inventory, and it would if I did it again. But I could buy some superconductors while I'm here. They're fairly cheap, so might as well. We've got tons of zone chips back home. All we need now is the gravity components to build the safe zone, the superconductors that go along with that, and then my idea is to power it with a large reactor. So I'm hoping that one of these stations that are around here, I've all labeled them with like new for the ones that I haven't been to, so we're gonna hit those up first thing today, see if we find anyone that can sell me uranium, because if I do find a place that can sell uranium, that means I'll be able to comfortably run a safe zone with a large reactor. One of the ideas I had is I could build a safe zone and then have a massive wind farm that powers the whole safe zone, and then I could keep that outside of the zone bubble. But if I'm doing the math correctly on that, to have enough wind turbines to even power a safe zone, you need upwards of like 200 to 300 wind turbines, and then that's assuming they're all at maximum optimal wind speed. So in the case of a snowstorm or something like that, our wind speed would drop down dramatically and we'd probably run out of power. So I'd rather build a large reactor that keeps it nice and consistently secure so we don't get horrifically blown up. But instead of doing a external site for wind turbines, my plan is to do an external site where I can put my landing pad. So I'll have a cable car that takes you over to a landing pad where we'll be storing the big rocket here, which we're going to give a redecoration in a little bit when we get down to the planet. I've got some ideas on how to make that more accessible from on foot and how to redesign it and make it more of a booster rocket. So my plan for the two vehicles that I want to build next is I want to update this booster rocket so that it basically has a capsule, a small hydrogen-based capsule that I can fly down to the ground and onto the rocket. Like, the amount of fuel that the capsule has doesn't really matter. It can be a tiny amount because it just needs to get on and off of the rocket. So hardly any fuel used there, and that'll be fine down on planets. It won't be able to fly up to space by itself because it won't have enough fuel, so it'll just attach onto the end of the booster rocket, act as a control module, and then that can get us around at like maximum speed because that thing is fast as hell. And the other thing I want to build is a full-sized ion and atmospheric dropship. So we are going to do that at some point, but I think my priority right now is to find resources to put up a safe zone and get uranium and whatnot like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to hop in our rocket and we're going to go check out some of these other stations that I haven't been to yet. So I have this METR station, which is, space, weapon, and grav. I've named that, so I can turn that off because we don't need that on our hotbar. This is where we've come from. So we can get rid of that, and then we'll hop in our rocket and not die to the vacuum of space. Let's get our third person camera where we can see. Oh, there we go. Right, so now we can move off. And we've got plenty of fuel, so where are we going to go? So we've got the main base over there. Let's try out the space stations. So that one over there looks like it's in space. The Unin station. So that might be one. I believe there was there's RTCT station. I can't remember if I've been to that or not. I don't think I have been to it. So how about we go, let's go for the RTCT station, then we'll go to the Unin station and the DVEX, and then we'll go back home. I think that will cover pretty much all of them. Oh no, there's a RLDC station as well. So we've got 4 stations to look at by the looks of it. And one of the stations actually belongs to this faction of ships that are flying around. So who are they? Unin. They are United Industry. Reliable, durable, safe. Oh, extraterrestrial. Oh, they might be a shipbuilder. That could be a possible solution for resources. I could grab some, like a large grid ship up there, fly it down to the base and grind it down. Okay, so they are probably going to be a bit more exciting. So I'm just going to check out this RTCT station. So we know from experience, past experience, that the RTCT stations seem to have weapons. So we'll see if this one has weapons as well or not. I just want to make sure I'm not in the gravity well. Where is that gravity marker? Wonder if we can. There we are. It's in the gravity. But if I was to hop out now, I would fall off into the abyss. So let's not do that. Actually, I wonder if I can get some more hydrogen. If I dock up. Okay, so I am in gravity and I'm not going to fall off, so should be alright. So if we get any hydrogen in here, we can buy that for our ship. So what do they sell? They sell ammo, so same as the other station. Gravity. Reactor components, that's kind of cool. Okay, so it appears to be another weapon store. So we can get that. So this one is space, and we'll just I gotta get rid of the there's a character limit on here. We'll just go with W. Oh, actually dash W? Yeah. Okay, so that can show me that it's a bit of a weapon store. So we don't need either of these markers anymore. And I don't think they had hydrogen. Oh no, they did. Okay. Let's buy all of that. Fill up our ship's hydrogen tank, so 2,000 kiloliters. That's like bugger all anyway, isn't it? That's fairly expensive. So, contracts, they've got repair, hauling. It might be interesting to try... Oh, and they've got some escorts, okay. So they have some interesting contracts. Might be fun to try doing at least one of each of these different contracts. The repair one might be a bit tricky, because sometimes you need to go inside of a station or something and weld just a single block, maybe like an interior light or something like that, which would be quite hard to reach with a welding ship. But we can try that, and it's worth a lot of money and would probably be more fun than just doing a whole bunch of search contracts to get money for my inevitable addiction to uranium if I find a store like that. And we want a bunch of money to buy ships, so I don't think there's anything else I can get here, so we're at full health again, so let's just go for a run. Dangerously low, okay. Oh, actually that is quite a lot of fuel. Not bad. So we were at 25% before, but we're at 38 now. Okay, that makes me a little bit more comfortable. Okay, so let's line up with... Which store are we going to go to now? RLDC. I can't tell if that is on the surface or on space of the other side. I think that is my main base there. It's the STDR station. That DVEX, that looks like it's on the ground. So let's go for this Union station here. And by the sounds of their faction description, they should be shipbuilders, so let's have a look at that. I think that looks like I'm gonna fall off. Definitely need a capsule. Maybe if I go around on an angle, that might work a little bit better. Just barely not in the gravity. Although if I hop out, I might be. Yes, perfect. Okay. So this is UNIN, and they are in the business of ships. Excellent. Glorious ships. So we've got some nice, cheap, small grid ships. They're probably a little bit too cheap, but that's alright. Stuff like this is, yeah, this is a lot more acceptable. So that gives us all of the resources that we're going to need. So we just need a capsule to get in here nice and consistently, and then something to bring these ships down to the planet with us in one piece so we can scrap them for parts. And that'll be like all of the resources that we'll need. So we can change this marker to have ships in its name. So UNIN station, Triton, and they sell ships. And that's in space. Let's just give it a S dash. Yep. So Triton, space, ships. That seems to fit. Oh, actually, we can go... Union Station, Triton, space, ships. Cool. So there's that one checked off. I wonder if there's anything I can use right now. Ion Light Scout. I might be able to, like, I could, if I can hook this onto the side of my... Oh, actually no, I don't want to come down with too much weight. If I weigh too much, I'm not going to be able to fly the our little rocket here in any comfortable way back down to our base. So we'll just leave it at that. So we know that that's there now, which is good. Okay, we've got 2 stations left to check out. I think the DVEX station and the RLDC, and they both look like they're on the surface. So I wonder if I should take an atmospheric craft. Down to check them out. I won't have enough fuel to like just fly across the planet. I'd have to go like down from orbit or down from space to the station, and then like back up, and then I can go and visit the other one. But we'll just we'll head for this RLDC station, see how much fuel we've got, and if we have enough we can go to the DVEX station as well. Although those look... What are you selling? So they've got acquisition contracts. Looks like the usual surface contracts. And the store, we've got some hydrogen, so we'll buy some of that. Oh, that's pretty expensive. What else have we got on here? Oh. Well then, I think I know what I'm gonna get. Okay. Cool. So let's get some uranium. Buy that. Yes, please. So that should be enough uranium to keep a safe zone going for a little while. I could even like bump the safe zone up to a nice high value and chew through all my uranium that way. But that'll give us plenty of space to work with. So what have we got left? We've got 4 million. We'll just spend some more on our tank. Fill that up. So we're burning through our money like it's not funny. Okay, I should have enough resources. I might even I think I have some iron left over at our first base. So if I bring that back and I can mix that with the gold and the silver I've got, and I'll be able to build all my reactor and superconductor components like that. So that should be nice and easy. And we've got our uranium, do we? Yes, excellent. Ooh, that feels good. Okay, so oh wow, that was a lot of fuel actually. No wonder why it was so expensive. Yeah, it was like almost a full tank. Okay. Well, these stations actually give a lot of fuel. Wonder if I even need my my mining drone to keep giving me hydrogen. I could just travel over some of these stations and fuel up. So what we're gonna do? Oh, actually, let's just give that a marker. That is... Oh no, fits perfectly. Sweet. Factions, RLDC. What are you all about? Royal Drilling. Okay, so they're like a mining corporation. Cool. I believe that store had some like silicon and iron ore and whatnot as well, so we can get some resources from these guys. They look real nice. So we can turn off that UNIN station. Uranium, well, no, we don't need that on our hotbar anymore for the time being. We don't need this one. So we're just going to the DVX station. We can get rid of that station. So those are all the GPS markers we need. So DVEX, where is that? Over there. Right. Let's go. Bonk. Okay, so DVEX, what do you guys sell? Divine excavators, so they are probably going to be resources, ores and whatnot, by the sounds of it. Let us dock up. Where's that connector port? I need to put like a camera on here so I can see what I'm docking to. Oh, it's proximity, there we go, okay. Oh, the, yeah, I saw it as red because the connector is painted red, so I didn't think I was docked up. So what do you sell? You sell ingots. Oh, and they also sell uranium, okay. So there are 2 uranium stores right next to each other, so, or sort of. Not right next to each other. It's kind of hard to tell when I'm moving so fast. They sell a lot of magnesium. And it's not terribly expensive. How's this compared? So this is a bit, I think, a bit more expensive than the other station was for uranium. That appears to be quite cheap for iron ingots, but like I said, I think I have a whole bunch of iron left over at my old base, so one of the things I'm going to do today is I'm going to take the Cyclops out and investigate that so we can get some stuff there. So this is ingots. So we'll just leave it at that. So I had all sorts, but those are the main things that I'm looking for, is iron and uranium. Actually, I'll leave it as uranium as well, because I think, oh, actually I can't even fit it, so we'll just go whatever. We'll go with that. I think the other station also sold like iron and whatnot, so I think they're just all probably gonna sell various kinds of ores, all the like mining stations. But that is good that we have some nice consistent sources of uranium. I could spend the last of my money on that, although I think I want to save some. I'm going to save some money just in case I need it. So let's head over to our main base. So I need to have a proper place to put this. Ooh. And I've had a thought of what I want to do weapons wise to help defend my base, so I can go over that in a second as well once I've got this nice and settled. Get it stable. Here we go. We can turn all the thrusters off. Cool. So we're in position. Excellent. So we've made it back from our trip. So one thing I want to do is I want to change that Gatling turret. I'm going to make this a massive missile, like rotor turret in large grid. So I don't want to do rotor turrets in small grid because they'll just get shot up too easily, although I will have a safe zone on here eventually. Probably put the safe zone down in that like open area that I was going to have here. I can have this open like courtyard area and I'll put a safe zone in that. That'll be covering our base. And then I'm going to change this into a big giant boomy turret. And I just need to figure out where I want to put the designated turret. Probably on this side of the base. Like it needs to be right next to the rotor turret to get it to fire accurately. So I'll probably put it on this side, which means the turret will be able to shoot out that way, out that way, out that way, and anything that's going to come over the top of the base. So if I put a turret here, it won't really matter that oh no, it needs to be on the outside. Yeah, it needs to be on the other side because it won't matter if the designated turret can't shoot through the slave turret itself, because there's a big wall in the way here, and anything that comes at this base is going to have to come over the top, which is a designator should be able to shoot at, giving us a good look there. So what do we want to work on first? So let me decide on that and I will get back to you in just a sec. Okay, we're back in business. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to do the safe zone and the reactor first. So I need resources for that, and I'm pretty sure I have a whole bunch of resources back down at my old base. So I'm going to go grab the Cyclops and go for a drive. I've been meaning to go and get all the resources from this base for ages. I could technically fly down in the rocket, but I think I would need to take a couple trips. Where's my base antenna? It's that way. That's the base. And good, there's no enemy stations in that direction that I can see on the HUD, so we're off to a good start. Yeah, so I could do one trip, well, a couple trips in the rocket, or probably one trip in the Cyclops. So in the interest of my sanity and saving time, I am going to try just getting it all done in one go. So let's disconnect this and go for a drive. Let's still a few, yeah, few holes in the voxels where things have crashed and exploded. Okay, so where's going to be the best place to attach? I might just switch around one of these connectors down to a lower port so that I can just reverse into it. And just get that lined up. Right, so I am too high. I think that's about as low as it can get. Yeah, I'm basically grinding along the ground now. There we go, and we are locked. Okay. So we've got our cargo containers here, and we've got our main base cargo container. Oh, there's a fair bit of magnesium, yeah, okay. So we'll take that, and reactor components, and as much of the gravel as we can take. So we're leaving some large steel tubes and iron, some plates and whatnot, some data pads, oh, a fair bit of ice. Some tools. So yeah, well, if we die and our base gets blown up magically through its soon-to-be safe zone, we can always respawn back here. Okay, so we need to re-engage our heights and then hope that we're not too heavy. Okay, well, that's good to know that we can fairly easily make this drive when the Cyclops is like super duper heavy. I don't know if we'd be able to do it if like all three of its cargo containers were full of iron ingots or not. Or steel plates. That's like as heavy as it could possibly be, I think. Or would it? I think it might be... Depends on the density, but it might be heavier if its cargo containers were completely full of uranium. I mean, that's assuming that uranium and iron have the same volume in this game. Okay, so we need to take off the Nix, so we'll get up here and we'll use its remote control. Just fly it back onto its post. Battery we can leave on auto. Okay, let's transfer some materials, and I need to go back up topside for our construction. So we're going to put in the reactor first and then the safe zone and hope we've got enough resources for both. I know where I'm going to put the safe zone, but I'm going to need to dig a hole out for where I'm going to put the reactor. I think I'm going to put it out the back of my like living area, and I can decorate it out with I'm planning on decorating it with a bunch of like an orange and red sort of color scheme, and then filling it with bright orange light so it's like a really hot room, like a massive boiler or something that you can look into from the living quarters, but no one has actual like proper access to it because it's so dangerous. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that in the back here. So let's grab our drill out. And I can do this by hand, but I guess it would make sense to use a mining vehicle, but I think it's just going to be quicker if I do it by hand. That way I can get the right size. So we want to have a nice viewing angle, so we will stop here, we'll put a wall in here, and then it can go perhaps to there, and then we'll have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no, we'll go one more, go to here. So clear out all of that. So I have a nice wide window that we can look into, and the window will be where I'm basically standing right now. And the reactor will be down into this area here. That seems to be working. Well, they're going to take a while to do. Alright, let's see what we can do about the safe zone. Now that is going to go down there, so let's see if we can get our way around here. Climb under here. So we're going to have a wall. This is all going to be walled off eventually. And then this is going to be an exterior courtyard. And I was thinking I would put the safe zone here, because this is a quite central location. I'm probably going to need to put it up on here. Or either that or against this wall. That'll make it easier to pipe up. Then I can have more of a gate there. Okay, yeah, I like that idea. Okay, so I'm going to put it here. So what do we need? Why is it... Ah, I see. It's being blocked by the upper... Or by the... These are all half blocks that I'm trying to place it on. So I need to figure out which one I'm going to chop out and replace with a conveyor junction. So it's going to be that one probably. We can probably use a pipe, I think will look the nicest. Which will go into the back of our system, although it's going to need to go into it from here, so this needs to be changed into a junction. And then we need to have a nice floor in here, made out of full blocks. So we can change this bottom row into full blocks as well. And that'll give us all the armor pieces around here that we can use to decorate the floor. I can change that into maybe like interior panels or make them all into concrete or something. Either way, it's easy enough to do. So let's grab the parts for this. So we've got 1, 2, those, one of these, and one of these. Take that off of our bar. I don't know if I've got reactor components in me. No, okay, we're all good. Should be everything we need for this pipeline. I might need to change that into a junction if I want to make this area airtight on the inside. That appears to be a lot cheaper to build than the reactor, so we should be able to do that by hand fairly easily. What's going on over there? Looks like there's another NPC scrap going on. Is that what that is? Oh, yep, something's definitely fighting it. It's a big ship. Oh, big small grid. So this is the faction wars part of the mod, in that all sorts of stuff just goes on like this. People are going to fight each other all around me, and there's just going to be absolute chaos. So this is why I'm pretty urgently rushing out a shield generator, just to keep myself protected. It's buying ingots, selling parts. Interesting. So if I go over there, that's one of the trade stations, I believe. Oh, it's a trade ship. That's cool. So I believe if I was to fly over here in a ship, yeah, it has a store block on board, which I could land, say, the Hustle on, and we can do some trading there. I believe they have slightly better deals than the economy stations, so we'll be on the eye. We'll keep an eye out for a trade ship like that in the future, when we've got a little bit more free time to spare. But right now, I want to get everything all set up in here. Yeah, so the reactor should be fully functional. Grind all this stuff down. Right, reactor. Have you got uranium? You do. Let's have a look, see. So reactor, so we're going to give that name of base reactor. It has a maximum output of 300 megawatts, and it's currently doing a very small amount. And it's using a very small amount. Cool. Well, that's chopping and changing all the time. I think that might be because it's like charging batteries and then it does a odd amount and whatnot, and the hydrogen engine acting all funny probably doesn't help that either. So let's give ourselves some scaffold, get out of here. And we can go and set up the safe zone. Which is also piped up, so that'll be able to pull zone chips, so that should all be good. Now, that's going to make... that weather storm is going to make checking out the safe zone a little bit annoying. Do I have a... how many programmable blocks have we got? We've got RDAVs, missiles, and we've got an inventory manager. I might want to take in auto LCD. Actually, I'm definitely going to need auto LCD at some point. So let's put that in. Because I want to have all the power statistics, basically, that I can see on the front of this safe zone block. So be able to see how much power it's drawing and how much the reactors and whatnot are doing. So that's an easy thing to set up. So automatic LCDs 2. And that's a very easy to set up one. All we need to do is just add LCD in square brackets to whatever block we want to use. That activates the script, and then you just go into custom data, and it's got a whole bunch of different commands, but really basic one is just power, and that should give us the power information on this grid. Here we go, and we can change the font size so it all fits onto that block. About, what's that? 0.7 size font. And change the text padding. Make that centrally aligned. You can turn down the colors a little bit, that makes it not so glaringly bright. Cool. So, yeah. Turbines, well, one turbine, at least. The engines are putting out stuff, but they're like not even 0.1%. So our total input is 300 kilowatts, total output 400 kilowatts. Okay, that's about to go up by a lot. So can we turn off that? Oh, we can turn off the keyboard one, or at least change the image. I might even like, could even get like a separate keyboard image, one that's not bright blue. Okay, so let's go safe zone. We want to enable the safe zone. That's gonna boot up in a bit. So the question is, do we do spherical or do we do cubical, which is the option. So I think if we go for 150 meters and we have a look, be able to see our safe zone bubble here. So currently that is way too big. That encompasses more than everything, so we can turn that down. So the cubical one is a lot more energy efficient, and that's right on the edge. So okay, so we don't want to go any smaller than 100 meters if it's spherical, and that covers the whole hangar. Although it goes, the problem with the spherical one is it has a lot of unnecessary space, but it does tend to look the best. Now, before that boots up, I need to add in its filter, make sure it's not going to eject all of my stuff. Factions Nomad. Okay, yeah, cool. That's how you can do that. If I went and turned this off, I would get immediately kicked out of my safe zone. So that's going to boot up in 35 seconds, and we want to allow everything so that we still have functionality within here, but we don't want damage. So things shooting in here, things getting damaged isn't going to work, but we will still be able to grind blocks down. So that'll turn on in a second, about 10 seconds I think. Yeah, 10 to go. And we'll be able to see how much power that's drawing and if it is unsustainable or not. And what I can do is Izzy's has a setting for uranium balancing. Okay, that's on. It's just, there's some loose, that clanging is coming from some loose something or other somewhere that's just got caught. I'll need to go and find that. It'll probably be sparking, so I'll be able to find it somehow. So that is currently using 73 megawatts. Now, if I went into my reactor, because Izzy's is balancing it, it's got 1 hour, so that is for a reactor that has 100 uranium in it, and I have close to 1,000, so that will run out in basically about 10 hours. Okay, so that is quite reasonable, doing it with a spherical shape. So let's see, where is that noise? I wonder if I can just filter out. I might be able to allow those into the filter. Let's see, floating objects. Let's just add everything. Yeah. Some scrap or something? Concrete rubble, maybe? Let's say put in 500 more. So it's up to 600. So how much time has that got left in it now? 8 hours. Yep. That seems pretty comfy. So in about 8 hours time or so, I'll need to get some more money and go buy some more uranium, but that is going to be a good outlet for our money by the looks of it. Just keeping that supplied, so good excuse to go and do all the economy and whatnot, keep ourselves nice and protected. No, that's not as bad as I was thinking. I was thinking I would need to do a cubicle shield because of how much power it would go through, but that was back when I was calculating for doing a safe zone with wind turbines, and to do a cubicle one that consumed about 50 megawatts a second requires, I don't know, like 150 to 200 wind turbines in optimal conditions. So it's much easier just to go with a nice large reactor. It's a lot more comfortable, and I mean, I'm the resource baron of Triton. I can't use all these renewable resources. What is this? What, I look like some sort of Greens member? No, thank you. I am all about that uranium and hydrogen power. Mining drone. Yeah, we'll just leave that. That can fill up our hydrogen tanks. And we can actually turn those back on now that this area is nice and secure. Alright. So, I'll get to welding. And I'll see you guys in a bit, where I'll probably close the episode on doing that, because I think doing all this welding is going to take me quite some time. And we'll see how we are for resources after that. Okay, here we are. So we've done a whole bunch of welding and everything looks absolutely awful now. But at least it's welded up and we've got something to work with. So we're going to do a lot of decorative work in the future, but I wanted to get as much of this welded up as possible. So I still need to fill in this area, fill in that all that stuff over there. I'm going to make a little access way here that you can walk along. So by changing these to like half blocks in here so that I can walk on it, and we'll have like a little slope bit that goes in here. Yeah, so that enables access into that area. We'll do a similar sort of like control booth, sort of terminal station, controller room, whatever you would call it, over in there. That is going to be what like an operator for the elevator would use. I've welded up all the blocks that were in here. I've left this open because this is just access to the upper bit here, although I could just as easily fill this in real quick and just leave that one open area there. So while I'm talking about what we're gonna do, I'll just do that in the background. So basically, if I have a look in our container here, we've gone through all that iron. We've still got 10,000 steel plates, but that's all of the iron used up. Let me just grab out some steel plates. So, all of our iron is used up, and we've got our safe zone running. We've got our reactor running. We found some good trade stations, so I'm pretty satisfied with that as for an episode in a day goes. Now, we're actually in the daytime, so I can have a look at how the safe zone looks. Wow, that is actually almost impossible to see. It's really hard to see that during the day. It's a lot more pronounced at night. Maybe I'll try changing the style. We can definitely see that, yeah. It'll just be brighter at night. But I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's the visual design we're going to go for. So, how much uranium have we gone through? Let's have a look at our big reactor. What did I put in it? I put in about 500 and then left 300 there. So yeah, that'd be about right. So our reactor still has, you know, roughly 8 hours. Somewhere there, about 7 or 8 hours to go. And that's still not including all the uranium that's actually still in the base, which we've got like a little bit more on. Oh, I've missed a little bit over here. I've missed a whole bunch of scaffolding bits everywhere and whatnot. These, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get rid of how that like ceiling, that's where the ceiling of the elevator sort of area is going to be. So I don't know if I'm even going to weld those blocks up. I can change them out later. But for the next episode, we really need to get some resources. So a couple of options are we can either take out the Nix. We can go and look after some of these large cargo ships that are coming by. We can lure, actually we could even lure them into where our safe zone is and then have the turrets take them out. That's one possibility. Or we can do some contracts, get a whole bunch of money. Actually, come to think of it, what I could do is I could build the capsule for my rocket while I'm thinking about it. I've got enough resources. I could just build the top capsule for the rocket. Either that or a little ion-based welding ship. Actually, I could do this. So if I build a little ion-based welding ship that can dock onto the top of the rocket, we can take that up into space and we can do some of the repair, or at least attempt some of the repair contracts that they're up there, because they are worth big money. And then with that money, we can buy some ships and strap some parachutes to them, bring them down here, land them in our safe zone, and then we can grind them down, and that's how we can get a whole bunch of resources. So the next episode, we're going to try and go on a quest to get a whole bunch of resources. So one way or another, we'll end next episode with a ton of resources that we can build the base, because we've already gone through nearly, 100,000 iron just not decorating, but just filling in all of the blocks that I had lying around here. I mean, I could have been a lot more sparing with it and changed some of them to half blocks, but I think just to get a visual design and a foundation, we're going to use this for the time being. It also needs a lot of painting because I've got a mishmash of different styles in here and whatnot. I'm gonna definitely change this into some. I want it to be more of a grated courtyard area. So right now it looks really depressingly boring. That definitely needs some work. I think I'm gonna bring this forward a bit and then have some beams going down diagonally into the structure. So there, we could also work on the reactor room. There's lots of stuff to do. But we'll save that for the next episode. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and I will see you all next week.